your dog suddenly refuses to enter one specific room in your house, don't force them. Don't call it silly. Don't laugh it off. They're not afraid of the dark. They're trying to protect you from something that shouldn't be there. Something that waits in the corner. Something only a few people are ever allowed to see. Most people think their dog avoids a room because of a smell, or maybe it's too hot, or they're just anxious. But the truth shows itself slowly. When your dog starts stopping at the doorway, at the same exact time every night, and no matter what, refuses to go in, it's not the darkness they're scared of. It's something else. Something that stays in the corner and watches. George and his Labrador, Limo, lived in a quiet home. One night, Limo stopped entering the guest room. At the same time every night, Limo would sit at the door and stare. George first thought Limo was acting silly, but soon he started to see strange shadows moving in the corner of that room. His sleep was disrupted by vivid hallucinations, soft whispers, and distant scratches. Limo would growl fiercely every time George attempted to step inside, as if warning him. Within weeks, George began to feel constantly watched, anxious, and unable to relax in his own home. He realized that, driven by his own loneliness and guilt over past mistakes, the creature had found an entry point and was using his vulnerable state to disturb his life. He said the air in that room felt different and thicker, like breathing through wet cloth. The shadows weren't just shapes, they pulsed, like they were alive. He told his brother once, just once, but the way his brother looked at him, like he was unraveling, George never brought it up again. Later, when George finally moved out, he sealed the guest room shut with nails and thick wooden boards. No one was allowed in. He told the realtor, don't open it, no matter what the new owner says. In a historic home in Salem, Rebecca and her terrier, Coco, experienced a similar terror. One cold autumn evening, Coco refused to go beyond the threshold of a particular study. When Rebecca installed the camera, the footage revealed a long, shifting shadow moving slowly in the far corner. At first, Rebecca dismissed it as a trick of the light, but over days, she began to suffer from intense nightmares and panic attacks. Coco would bark and growl every time Rebecca neared that room, trying to force her away. It turned out that Rebecca's deep-seated fears of failure and rejection had left her emotionally exposed, making her the perfect target for the creature. The unseen entity exploited that weakness, invading her mind and turning her once safe home into a source of constant dread. She tried everything, but every night, same time, Coco would cry at the door, whimpering, scratching to get her away. The shadow on the camera began to shift position. Closer, frame by frame, like it knew it was being watched. One night, the footage showed something behind her. She wasn't even in the room, just watching the tape. But in the reflection of the study's glass door, something was standing behind her shoulder. And she hadn't moved. In a quiet suburban home, 17-year-old Chris noticed his German Shepherd, Tank, suddenly avoiding the family's laundry room. It was a completely normal part of the house, one they used every day. But for some reason, Tank would stop dead at the door, tail down, ears back, growling low at something only he could see. Chris brushed it off for days, until one night he decided to stay in the room alone to test a theory. He placed his phone in the corner to record. What the video showed chilled him. A tall, shifting silhouette barely visible at first, standing exactly in the far corner where Tank always stared. Over the next week, Chris began forgetting simple things, where he placed his keys, entire conversations, even his own birthday. His friends noticed him staring off into corners of rooms, completely silent, eyes wide. Tank refused to go near him. The doctors called it stress. But Chris knew it started the moment he challenged what was hiding in that ordinary room. The entity had used something real, his grief over his parents' recent divorce, as a crack to slip in. And now, it was peeling him away from himself, one forgotten memory at a time. Chris said sometimes he'd catch himself halfway through brushing his teeth, unable to remember if he had already done it. His voice notes became jumbled. Half-finished thoughts, rambling about mirrors, about something behind the dryer. In file number 27C, his last recorded note ended abruptly after the words, "It's learning how to be me." The man in the corner always stays in one place, the corner of the room. You can't see him unless he wants you to. But if you hear the buzzing, like an old TV on with no signal, and feel your ears pop, he's close. If the lights flicker only in that one room, don't check. When a dog stares at that corner, the creature doesn't move. It freezes. But the moment the dog walks away, or is forced inside, the man starts to move. Slowly. You won't hear footsteps. Just the soft tap of nails on drywall. Like a lizard, or something pretending to be one. He only appears in homes where someone is empty inside. People who feel alone, disconnected, or broken after some kind of loss. That emotional emptiness creates a space for him to enter. And once he's inside your home, he won't leave until he's taken something from you. Sometimes it's a memory, a relationship, a sense of time. Sometimes it's your voice. Other times it's your reflection. If your dog suddenly stops going near a certain room, don't force them inside. If they growl, bark, or whine, listen. Never look directly into the corner. If you see something standing there, it might see you too. And if it does, it'll remember. It'll wait for your weakest moment. And next time, it won't hide. Seal the room. Lock the door. Block it off completely. And remember, your dog isn't scared. They're trying to protect you from what's already inside. From something that doesn't blink, doesn't breathe, and never leaves until you do.